Welcome to this video presentation on the concept of maturity in fruits and vegetables. Have you ever wondered how farmers determine when to harvest their crops, or why some fruits and vegetables taste better than others? The answer lies in the maturity of these plants. In this presentation, we will explore the different stages of maturity, the factors that affect it, and the various methods used to measure it. Join us as we delve into the fascinating world of fruit and vegetable maturity. So, what is maturity? Maturity is the stage of full development of tissue of fruit and vegetables, only after which it will ripen normally. In the U.S. grade standard, maturity is defined as that stage which will ensure proper completion of the ripening process. Post-harvest physiologists distinguish three stages in the lifespan of fruits and vegetables. These are maturation, ripening, and senescence. What is maturation? Maturation is indicative of fruit being ready for harvest. At this point, the edible part of the fruit or vegetable is fully developed in size, although it may not be ready for immediate consumption. Next is the ripening. Ripening follows or overlaps maturation, rendering the produce edible as indicated by taste, while the senescence is the last stage characterized by natural degradation of fruit or vegetable, as in loss of texture, flavor, and etc. Senescence ends at the death of the tissue of the fruit. Now, let's talk about the types of maturity. First, we have horticultural maturity. It is a developmental stage of the fruit on the tree, which will result in a satisfactory product after harvest. For example, sprouts or seedlings are horticulturally mature in the early stage of development, whereas most vegetative tissues, flowers, fruits, and underground storage organs become horticulturally mature in the mid-stage, and seeds and nuts in the late stage of development. For some commodities, horticultural maturity is reached at more than one stage of development, depending on the desired use of the product. Next is physiological maturity. It refers to the stage development of fruits and vegetables when maximum growth and maturation has occurred. It is usually associated with full ripening in the fruits. Then the physiological mature stage is followed by senescence. Commercial maturity is the stage of plant organ required by a market at which the produce is optimally accepted to the consumer. Lastly is the harvest maturity. It is a stage which will allow fruits or vegetables at its peak condition when it reaches to the consumers and develop acceptable flavor or appearance and having adequate shelf life. Several factors can affect the maturity of fruits and vegetables. These include environmental conditions such as temperature and soil, as well as the genetic factors and cultural practices such as size of planting material, closer spacing, pruning intensity, and the girdling. The timing of harvesting is also crucial to ensure that fruits and vegetables are harvested at their peak of maturity. Let's talk about the temperature. Higher temperature gives early maturity. Then the soil on which the fruit tree is grown affects the time of maturity. Next is the size of planting material in which this factor in propagated fruits affects fruit maturity. Close spacing of hill bananas hastened maturity. The pruning intensity it enhanced the maturity of Lardescent and Sharbati peaches. Lastly, the girdling it is the process of constricting the periphery of a stem which blocks the downward translocation of CHO or stands for carbohydrates, hormones, and etc. So, what is maturity indices? Maturity indices are the sign or indication the readiness of the commodity for harvest. It is the basis for determining harvest date. There are several methods used to determine the readiness for harvest of fruits and vegetables. Visual indices involve assessing the size and shape. Maturity of fruits can be assessed by their final shape and size at the time of harvest. And color of the fruit or vegetable. The loss of green color of many fruits is a valuable guide to maturity. Physical indices involve measuring the firmness. As fruit mature and ripen, they soften by dissolution of the middle lamella of the cell walls. Fruit opening. The maturity of a produce can be determined by observing how its fruit opens. This is because the opening of a fruit is a sign that it is ripe and ready to be eaten. Aroma. Most fruits synthesize volatile chemicals as they ripen. Such chemicals give fruit its characteristic odor and can be used to determine whether it is ripe or not. These odors may only be detectable by humans when a fruit is completely ripe and therefore has limited use in commercial situations. Abscission. As part of the natural development of a fruit, an abscission layer is formed in the pedicel. Leaf changes. Leaf quality often determines when fruits and vegetables should be harvested. In root crops, the condition of the leaves can likewise indicate the condition of the crop below ground. And lastly, the texture. Maturation of fruits is often accompanied by softening. Over-mature vegetables frequently become fibrous or tough. These textural properties can be used to determine maturity by using instruments that measure the force required to push a probe of known diameter through the flesh of the fruit or vegetable. Chemical measurements involve analyzing the calendar date or the days after full as a guide to harvest. Heat units. It has been found that a characteristic number of heat unit or degree days is required to a mature crop under usually warm conditions. Juice content. The juice content of many fruits increases as the fruit matures in the tree. Oil content and dry matter percentage. Oil content can be used to determine the maturity of fruits, such as avocados. Moisture content. Moisture content in a fruit can have a significant impact on factors such as the product's taste, texture, appearance, shape, and weight. Sugars. In climacteric fruits, carbohydrates accumulate during maturation in the form of starch. As the fruit ripens, starch is broken down into sugar. In non-climacteric fruits, sugar tends to accumulate during maturation. A quick method to measure the amount of sugar present in fruits is with a Briggs hygrometer or a refractometer. Starch content. Measurement of starch content is a reliable technique used to determine maturity in pear cultivars. Acidity. In many fruits, the acidity changes during maturation and ripening. And in the case of citrus and other fruits, acidity reduces progressively as the fruit matures on the tree. And lastly, the specific gravity. Specific gravity is obtained by comparing the weights of equal bulks of other bodies with the weight of water. In practice, the fruit or vegetable is weighed in air, then in pure water. The weight in air divided by the weight in water gives the specific gravity. This will ensure a reliable measure of fruit maturity. Calculated indices involve the total soluble solids. It can be determined in a small sample of fruit juice using hand refractometer and the tratable acidity of the produce. The tratable acidity or the TA can be determined by titrating a known volume of juice with 0.1 mole of sodium hydroxide to the endpoint. Physiological methods involve measuring changes in respiration rate. Particularly on climacteric fruits can accurately pinpoint the most appropriate time of harvest as there is climacteric rise in respiration. And ethylene production. Like respiration, rice, climacteric fruits also have ethylene peak. In conclusion, understanding fruit and vegetable maturity is essential for farmers, distributors, and consumers alike. Harvesting fruits and vegetables at the correct stage of maturity is crucial for proper ripening and transportation. By using various methods to determine maturity, farmers can ensure that their crops are harvested at their peak of quality and flavor. We hope that this presentation has given you a better understanding of this important concept. Thank you for watching.